Welcome, Master Kam Yuen, to the Secrets of Qigong Masters program. It's such an honor to interview you. We've been experiencing some delays with this interview, and I really feel honored to be able to ask you some questions about your work and also Qigong field in general.
Okay, that's fine.
Great. Let's start with your personal exposure to Kung Fu and energy-related arts. How would you describe your personal experience when you just started learning the energy arts and Kung Fu and other martial arts?
My experience is that I never have a problem with it, so I always start from the top. I never feel like I was on the bottom, starting. Pretty much whatever school I go to, I race to the top. That's what I want to do.
How did you start? What prompted your beginning of your studies of the martial arts and Kung Fu?
Well, the martial arts, as soon as I studied, I was already, I've been before, and the reason why I got into it because at that time Kung Fu was not recognized. I stepped out as my mission, and I did it.
So your mission was to not only learn Kung Fu, but also bring Kung Fu to other people.
To let people know the name Kung Fu.
Oh,
Since I was teaching it, I was already teaching. I mean, when I'm learning, I'm teaching it. When I'm teaching it, I'm just learning.
Why was it important to you?
Because at that time, Kung Fu did not get any recognition of martial arts style. And at that time, the Chinese nation had problems with the rest of the world and had to stand up for it. That's my intention. Because at one time, China is not in a good position right now, and it was common for people to make fun of Chinese. And I lost interest. I was not, you can start when you're 8 years old, 7 years old, but I'm not really interested in it. And I didn't see any potential or any reason to do it. So I would rather do Western sports. And then later on I got back into it because I thought I feel that there was a need for it for someone to stand up to Kung Fu.
How old were you when you started your studies of Kung Fu?
I say I started at 8.
When you were 8, okay.
But I was not interested.
Oh, I see. And so you are known for having worked with some celebrity names in Kung Fu world. Anyone from Bruce Lee, who was, according to most people's understanding, a pretty promising young master, to David Carradine, who was an actor who didn't know anything about Kung Fu.
I was there at the same time, so. And after a while, he knows, Kung Fu is like, after you've been in for like decades, you would know it. So it's not like you have to, have to give up everything to know it. So just from decades of exposure to it, I'm good at it.
So you consider that, for example, David Carradine had been exposed to Kung Fu for a number of years, and he got good at it?
Yeah, for decades.
Right. What, for example, I really missed the opportunity to interview him on my show before he died. What was your understanding of what caused his death, by the way?
Well, I didn't really look into it, but there was some kind of, and when I did look into it to a certain extent, there's some kind of karma, some kind of curses there. It's like Bruce Lee, so I resolved Bruce Lee's curse on my Facebook. And actually, I'm in direct communication with the spirit. I already mentioned that. Of course, he's a conventional thinker, weird, but it's not like I believe in those, but I connect with them. I connect with any spirit. I can connect with ET. I connect with other beings that communicate. So, what's that?
ET Called Home, from that ET movie by Spielberg.
I'm just saying that you have to be telepathically and communicate with other intelligence in this universe. Okay? Then you know what's going on. Otherwise, it's like just stuck here on this planet.
Okay, so you've been in communication with David Carradine's spirit, he's saying. Did he tell you what was it that caused his death?
That's it, not that important. Right? All he told you is a curse and a karma that has to be resolved. So I resolved it.
Okay. And how about Bruce Lee? Obviously, his death was
It's also a curse
also
too, I told you that. So the ancestral curse had not been resolved, so I resolved it.
How did you resolve it?
I resolve people's curses or people's ancestors. That's part of what I do. But you have to look at the whole picture, what's going on the spiritual level, mental level, and physical level.
So
there's no restriction.
How long ago did you resolve Bruce Lee's curse?
Just recently.
Just recently. So after his son died in a way similar to he portrayed.
He has an ancestral curse,
he got shot.
or the descendants have problem with it. So once you resolve it, everything just fits in. It's like if somebody died doesn't mean it's tragic. It's tragic to other people, but what happened happens.
Right. Can you share with us a little bit about the training that you underwent, both when you were working with Bruce Lee and also what is it that you...
I didn't work with Bruce Lee.
You did.
But Bruce Lee was my contemporary.
Right.
And actually when he was alive, I didn't really respect him that much. So when he gave up his life, and I respect him for that. In fact, I did not connect with him because even though my brother, he's a family friend, but I didn't want to connect with him because I was a good friend of Wong Chop Man, supposed to have a fight with him. So I didn't want to break up that relationship I have with Wong Chop Man. So I knew about Bruce Lee as he knew about me, and that was it.
I see. And when you were working with David Carradine, as far as I understand, you were training him before or during his shooting of the Kung Fu series?
No, not before. Well, before it's like he met me, he already had the Kung Fu series. It's not like he trained and then took.
Yeah, he didn't know anything about Kung Fu when he started shooting.
Well, no one did. So the whole American didn't know. So it's not like he didn't know. The whole United States didn't know. Okay, that's the reason why I started teaching Kung Fu, because no one knows. And the only people that knew were Chinatown, but it's set up in such a way no one knows, no one cares, and people make fun of it. And karate people make fun of it. There's no such thing. Kung Fu is like a Chinese dish or something.
Well, what is your understanding of Kung Fu? What's the meaning of the word Kung Fu to you?
You're a master in everything you do.
Beautiful. So it's not just martial arts, it's the mastery.
Martial arts is one aspect, right? But it's the mastery of your life.
Right. Can you give us an example of your mastery?
I'm not quite sure what you mean by example.
Example of your Kung Fu. What's the greatest accomplishment that you've had in your life?
Well, I don't have any greatness. Everything is even to me. So I just do what I have to do. So anybody give me a question, I answer it. Anybody give me a problem, I resolve it.
So you don't have any accomplishments that you are proud of?
Nah, I'm not proud of anything I do.
Anything that you've been recognized for?
Say that.
Anything you have been recognized for?
Utilization or
recognized by others.
Others?
Yes.
I don't really care what people recognize me.
So in other words, there is no high point or any turning point in your life that would be worth talking about.
Well, turning point, is like it's a realization that Kung Fu has to take the next step, the Qigong has to take the next step. And it's time for what we do to move further ahead, keep up with the speed of the times. We should not go backwards and try to rehash what's been done before. We appreciate what's done in the past, and that path should not take us a long time to appreciate it. It should be a millisecond, and that's it.
Okay. And so you move on to basically live your life in the present moment, is it what you're talking about?
No, in the future. We have no present moment because Every millisecond you move into your future. So anyone suggests you to live in the moment now, they want you to be stuck.
I see.
Or they, not so much they want, they also create you not moving forward.
So how do you live in the future?
You change the future the way you want the future to be.
And how do you know what you want? You have a dream, you have certain vision, inspiration?
No inspiration, no dreams. You just feel it. You got the insight, you know what you want. Okay?
So you have some kind of internal feeling in your body? Okay, what is it? How do you know that you have the feeling?
Because you get the results. The results get in, they confirm your feeling, confirm your logic, confirm your perception, your intuition. You get results every time, consistently.
So you're talking about perception and intuition. What does the intuition look like, or what does it feel like?
It doesn't look like anything. And the feeling is stronger with you. Perception is the fast feeling. By intuition, everybody has. You just have to ensure that it's not distorted, it's not too slow, it's not hindered by your family and other members that you associate with or collectively. So once you remove that, you automatically get back to your natural intuition, just like all other living creatures have, the instinct to know what is right, what is not right, in a matter of seconds.
Absolutely. So that's essentially feeling energy and how much you resonate with something.
Feeling the energy, you don't have to involve the energy.
Well, we're talking about Qigong, so
one
as
or
well.
zero. Okay, so I'm beyond Qigong. I'm not going to talk about Qigong. For me to talk about Qigong is like going backwards.
Oh, is that right? Because Qigong is a relatively young art form.
No, it's been around for thousands of years.
Well, I mean, it wasn't called Qigong. The word Qigong
No,
is
it's called
relatively
Qigong. It's called Qigong or Qigong. You know, it's called Qigong. It's Qi. Qi has been around. Terminology Qi has been around for a long time.
So you consider Qigong kind of like an outmoded art form?
Well, I won't say outmoded. We just don't want to be stuck with it. We want to go forward with that. Whatever the foundation is there. We're not going to go back and repeat what was done. We have to go forward with what we know about Qigong.
Do you have a name for the art that would go forward with?
So I'm doing my Yuen Method, and that's it.
So that's basically your personal developed,
It's not
method that you developed yourself.
It's international.
Oh, so it's been in your family?
No, international means my family.
Well,
it means it's gone up around the whole world. Okay, I have hundreds of thousands of students in different countries.
Right, and they all follow your method.
I don't follow. You just get results.
Well, do they say that they practice Yuen Method?
No, they don't practice. They take action with it.
Okay, they take action with Yuen Method.
With the method.
With the method. And do they call it Yuen Method, like they attribute it to you, or they just call it their own last name method?
No, they don't call it the last name method. Their own last name.
Okay, so you develop a certain method that you teach to hundreds of thousands of students, like you said. What kind of method, how would you describe that? What's different between your method, your approach, versus anybody else's?
You get quick results. Get to the point. Resolve the situation. You get to the answer, the action, the results.
So you see the issue that you want to work with.
Well, issue can be a problem. But issue is only part of the problem. So if people use the word issue like it's problem. It is, okay, it's a choice and also the triggers that people have that create the problem.
So you see the situation. I don't want to say that's a problem even, but you see a certain situation. If somebody comes to you as a client, there must be a reason why they come to you. Something motivates them.
You don't come to me because of motivation.
Something brings me to you because of pain, because there is some challenge in my life.
But they want answers.
They want the answers, yes.
They want satisfactory answers. You give them satisfactory answers.
You give them the answers?
No, I don't give them the answers. I get the answer from them and resolve their problem.
You facilitate somehow that they would get to the answer.
I direct them. facility.
So you direct them to the answers within themselves.
Well, kind of like that, but it's not. Okay.
Would you share with us a little bit what it is?
Well, the thing is that they have a problem, and I would know what the answer matches the problem and get results.
So you find the answer that matches the problem. But themselves, they couldn't do that for some reason, so they need you to help them with that.
Well, not help them, just
direct them. Yeah. And when you direct people, apparently you have some idea where to look for this answer.
You have all the answers. Right. All the answers go infinite answer, all the answers you can possibly count, and you just got that one answer among all the answers. And that answer would fit their question and resolve their problem.
Right, so you rely on your own personal insight where to direct the person to look for their own answers?
Well, the thing is that I direct them, and also I give them my insight, also have to change their insight. If they have no insight, they're pretty much not able to resolve them. And I would make sure they have insight without telling them that I direct them the insight.
Interesting. So this is not a healing method, because apparently here you say that healing is the dirty word.
Oh, you finally got that.
Yeah, I got that. Yeah, obviously healing means you're trying to change something, you're trying to fix somebody, and you don't do that.
See, healing is like you want to degrade the other person you want to improve. I'm going to heal you.
Right.
Heal you. So that's not good.
Right. You take credit for their transformation.
You change it.
They need to take credit and be responsible for their own transformation.
Well,
right?
it's not as heavy as that. It should be something that they recognize, no second, no judgment, no critique, how good it is, and they don't have to honor it. They just let it be, let it process. Right? You don't have to honor the process in that computer. You get that key to get the answers that you're looking for.
Okay. How is it different from any other approaches that you may be familiar with, either within Qigong or NLP or any other methods that you...
It's faster, it's consistent, and you get results every time.
Okay. When you teach other students, when you teach students, obviously they're learning how to do something similar to what you do, right? How do you help, or how do you direct them so that they would...
I would find their limitation, the limitation to insight. I would remove the limitation to thinking too much.
So when your students think too much, they can't get to their insight.
Right.
And you help them, or you direct them to remove their limitation. And these limitations are coming from their upbringing, or their family, or their...
Could be anything.
Stereotypes.
Could be anything and everything.
Would you give us an example of a limitation?
Well, actually, it could be anything and everything. Come from their ancestors, come from their descendants, come from their siblings, come from their family, come collectively, coming from their own spiritual experience, their karma, their curses, their whatever, their misinterpretation. So it comes from all sources, and you have to be able to pinpoint the exact source of results. Because other techniques don't do that.
How do you pinpoint the source?
Well, you just have to explain it, you have to experience it, okay? You start off with a weakness, and you have that weakness in a millisecond, you connect with your insight. I mean, you connect with your intuition, and then you have your insight, and then you have what is right, matches to the question or the problem, and the result speaks for it. Okay? You don't get result, then it's not the right answer.
Right, so it's evidence-based. If you...
Result-based.
Result-based. Well, you look at...
That's scientific jargon.
Okay,
it's
so...
results. Okay.
The results
evidence. See, a lot of times you get evidence, but you don't get results. Right? Science give you a lot of evidence, but don't get results.
You're looking for results that give you feedback, whether or not this was the appropriate...
It's not so much feedback. We don't want to wait for them to feedback us. The result reinforce the action connect with the answer. And that forms a triad, and that triad has to be supported. That triad has to maintain itself, it cannot collapse on itself.
So if, for example, the action doesn't lead to the appropriate results, how do you adjust the action?
Well, the thing is that you have to insight that action. You pick the right action, and the right result goes with it. And that should be like a second or so.
So if you didn't pick the right action, for example, you need to take some different action, because obviously expecting different results from the same action.
Is that it's like if you don't have a perception, intuition, insight, when you have that, you pick the right action.
And if you don't,
then you don't have the insight.
Right.
Then you don't have the insight. You don't pick another action.
Well, it's probably not totally foolproof. Like,
no, it's foolproof. It's 99% foolproof. Plus or minus 1% error.
Right. So within that margin of error, if somebody doesn't come up with a perfect solution each and every time, obviously there is 1% point when it may happen. How do you correct that action? How do you reposition yourself so that you would be going in the right direction?
Your feeling, perception, and intuition to insight.
So if your intuition misled you, or if your student, for example, did not...
But if you feel your intuition doesn't have any weakness there, then there's right intuition.
Well, we're talking about perfection, no weakness whatsoever.
No, I put the plus or minus 1% error. It's already perfect. I'll just put it there. That you have to leeway to say, okay, I could make 1% error. Right?
That would be amazing. How do you get to that level of
perfection? You know, we have that capability. We just don't recognize it and acknowledge that. It's a computer, right? Okay. We have a computer within us that's consistent. It should be no miracles that happen once in a while. It has to get the same result every time. It doesn't matter what input is coming from that particular person that you communicate with.
Right. I'm sure that when students first come to you, their intuition is not 100% or not even 99%.
Yeah, but they can change it within 5 seconds.
How do you change that?
By strengthening their feeling, perception, intuition, and combine that as a triad and strengthen as insight. And you want to make sure that insight stays with them 100% of the time.
So nothing distracts them from the insight?
Well, there's a distraction, then you remove the distraction. Yeah, a lot of people are distracted.
Right.
But if you already got them to be strong with the feeling and perception and intuition, there's no distraction.
Right. So they start with a feeling and perception to get to intuition.
You don't stop with it. You make them strong to it.
So you strengthen your feeling and you strengthen your perception.
There's a weakness there, then you strengthen.
How do you strengthen the feeling?
When you find a weakness, you strengthen. Okay. Now that's either you go into the person midline or you automatically just strengthen.
Okay, well, if you don't mind, I will give you an example of a challenge with perception. For example, I was working with one Qigong master some 20 years ago.
Okay.
And I was talking to him like I'm talking to you right now, and I noticed that during the conversation, I could not move my eyes from his glance. He was from his eyes. He was piercingly staring into my left eye. And my left eye stopped seeing right at that moment. And I asked him, why did you do that? He said, I was sending a loop, an energy loop, to read your mind. I said, well, it doesn't feel good. I can't see anything with that eye anymore. I said, oh, it's temporary. It's going to go away. Well, it's been 20 years. It hasn't gone away.
Oh, okay.
So how?
Then it's not temporary. So it's 20-year temporary.
Okay, 20 years. So what would you do to direct me in strengthening my perception?
You're talking about your eye, you're talking about perception.
My perception through the eye.
Well, you don't perceive through your eyes. Okay. Depending on your eyes to perceive, then you already limit yourself to conventional thinking that you perceive things with your.
Well, there's nothing wrong with the eye, so obviously it's not the eye issue.
Well, you can't see it doesn't mean your eye.
Right.
No, if the first weakness you have would be your left brain.
Okay. Left brain. Well, usually they talk about the right brain working with the left eye.
Oh, sorry, you're right. I'm looking at that side. So you're right. So now let me just show you the weakness for you, okay?
Please.
Because you can't feel it. You could feel it, but you have to see it. Okay? So the thing is that, let's say you have this strength here, okay? Now give me some strength. Right. Yeah. Again. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Okay. So that's a weakness in that conduction.
How do you strengthen?
The midline, what is that there? The midline gives you balance, center of stability, neutrality, and fitness.
Mm-hmm. So, what was it?
Now, that's done. I'll think about that again. Not think about it, but that's the eye and the brain. Eye and the brain, the wrong problem, right? Now, the cranial nerve, the optic nerve is weak.
Right.
When I say optic nerve to you, I don't have to touch it, but if I just put my or even my brain or physical intelligence on your optic nerve. So let's say I put it on your olfactory nerve, not a problem. Optic nerve. Optic nerve.
Pretty weak.
You can't improve anything.
Right.
Here's your optic nerve, that's done. Optic nerve is no longer weak, right? Now, the thing is that you have a karma that somebody shot you in the eye. Now, let's say somebody shot you with an arrow that went right into your eye. That bothered you.
If somebody shot me with an arrow in the eye and it was still stuck, probably
Well, it
would.
doesn't have to be stuck. It can come out.
Okay, if I pull it out, probably not.
Probably not. You pull the arrow go in your eye, you pull it out, it doesn't bother you. Right? Is that what you're saying?
Well, the arrow wouldn't be bothering me. The injury would probably.
Well, same thing.
Well, the arrow is gone.
I'm just talking about the action. I'm not talking about you curse at the arrow. I'm talking about the action. Somebody shot an arrow in your eye, would that bother you?
Well, that probably would be unpleasant, yes.
Well, not horribly. Because I feel weakness in you, right? Give me some strength again, right? So physically you can feel it. Now, give me some strength first, okay? Now, let's say somebody punched you in the eye. Yeah, it's not a problem. Right? But somebody shot you with an arrow in the eye, and now you try to be strong. Shot you with an arrow in the eye. Shot you with a gun. I put really hard on it, you're strong, right? But if I say shot you with an arrow, then you try to resist when you go weak. See? So you try to make a fool out of me. So,
okay. So when
I mean, could you feel the difference in the arrow and the bullet?
Yes.
If you could, then you have insight and you have perception. Otherwise, you know. Okay.
Okay. So
you want to compensate for the weakness. It's like you don't get the right answer. You don't resolve your problem. Right?
Okay.
So let's say somebody shot you with an arrow. That would bother you, right?
Yeah.
Yes or no? Yeah. If it bothers you, you can't improve. I'm not going to deal with this Qigong master. Right. Somebody shot you with an arrow. If you think about it, it weakens you, right?
Right.
And it bothers you. And it bothers you who did it. That happened 400 years ago.
Right.
Right? I don't need to use the arm test like people use kinesiology, okay? Because I can feel it.
So 400 years ago, I got shot in the eye with an arrow.
Mm-hmm.
What can be done about that?
A lot of things.
To strengthen the optic nerve, obviously, it's the optic nerve that's the issue.
No, optic nerve is no longer an issue. You got a weakness in the optic nerve. What do you strengthen your optic nerve? The action is the issue. Your spiritual experience is the problem.
Okay.
Okay.
So how do you resolve
Well, I didn't know that I was coming here to give you all the answers in one time. Okay.
that? Most of our viewers and listeners are really interested in the subject of energy awareness and how it can be applied to health.
See, it's not awareness, and it's not about. There's nothing wrong with your perception, because there's no weakness in your perception. You only have perception. Your awareness, you have that. That doesn't even come in until everything changes. You have to be aware that you have changed. The awareness doesn't come before the change. The change comes before awareness. Right? Alright?
Okay.
So, as far as health, now, health. Think about people talking about health, okay?
Yeah.
Whether they're professional, non-professional, talk about health. Are you pretty strong with that? Talk about fitness. Talk about health. Health. Man, you don't like to be weak, I know that, right? So health is different than the fitness, right? Think about fitness and health, okay? Now, which one is stronger? Are they the same to you?
Didn't.
So, you got it. Then how come when you got weak, you won't let me show you that you're weak?
Because I'm fit.
This is really for you, right?
Yes.
No, you have to be able to tell the difference between one or the other. When you have a weakness, you let it go. I'm not here to show you how weak you are. I just show you your weakness, tell you what's going on.
Right. So
you saw that in the demonstration.
Right. So what's going on, for example, in my case, is that the optic nerve does
No,
not
it's not the optic
communicate.
nerve. Somebody just shot you in the eye, or they resolve your optic nerve because you have a weakness in the optic nerve. The next action would be you got shot in the eye. And I would say you got shot in the eye by some English people. Okay? Let's say you think about people in England and shot you in the eye. When you think about English soldiers.
What about?
Yeah, when you think about you like them.
I never thought about English soldiers.
Well, that's why I asked you. I said you do think about English soldiers.
They're no better or worse than any other soldiers.
Well, compare with, let's say, the modern U.S. soldiers and English soldiers from 400 years ago. They're the same or different.
You're in a beautiful city.
Probably the English soldiers.
Don't properly. Just make a comparison. Now it's the same or different.
Different.
Well, then that's the difference, right? Because, oh yeah, English soldiers shot me down.
Yeah.
The bars, right?
Probably 400 years ago it bothered me. Yes.
When you think about it, that experience you experienced 400 years ago is still in your spirit.
Okay.
Okay, would it bother you? Will you go back and connect with it? Can you connect with it? Or you tell me that you've forgotten about it?
I felt like I forgot about it.
See, you don't want to be practicing Alzheimer's, okay?
No.
So if you don't forget,
Okay.
it would affect you, right?
Probably. Yeah.
Don't say property. It's either is
Well, it's
or
a
not.
supposition.
I'm just saying that, let's say, the English soldier, by accident, shot you now in the eye,
Right.
and damaged your eye. Would that bother you?
Yeah.
Alright, so you want to remove that.
Yeah.
Got that, right? It bothers you, right? So I bring up to play a movie, it bothers you, right? But if I tell you 400 years ago, well, I forgot about it. You think you did, but you didn't. Alright? Okay? The bottom line is they bother you, right?
Okay.
So make it strong, delete the effects of it, right? Then you set everything, okay? Now think about it again, it still bother you, and then you increase your awareness and your perception, right? And you'll delete your thinking about it, okay? Now think about that scene again.
If I delete my thinking about it, it doesn't bother
What's
me.
that?
If I delete my thinking about it, it doesn't bother me.
It's not because you delete it, I delete it for you.
Oh, you?
So you're ready to delete it. Now think about it again.
Okay.
Does it bother you?
No.
Huh?
No.
Alright, don't even look at the vision. Now, compare before, it's the same sensation you have?
Yes.
Okay. Doesn't feel the same to me. Now, do you have a difference between your left and right eye sensations? It is more even with each other.
It feels a little bit more pressure in the left eye.
Okay. So the pressure in that eye is really your misinterpretation in your opposite brain. So let's remove your misinterpretation. Now, how's the pressure?
Less.
You want it to be even.
More or less.
If it's not even, then you can't resolve the problem. Okay?
Yeah.
Anytime you have part of your body uneven with the rest of your body, that's how the body suffers from the rest of the body.
Exactly, yeah.
That's how you give it disease. When you're all even, you have no disease.
Right. Homeostasis.
Well, I don't want to use the homeostasis terminology. It's like
Balance.
it's equality. If you have disease in one part of your body, because that part of the body is not even with the rest of you. It's not because it's not in homeostasis. Okay? But just they don't recognize each other, they don't acknowledge each other, and it would just stand out on its own. This part of the body could be rejecting the rest of your body, the rest of your body could be rejecting that. It's just like society when it's not even, people fighting with each other, then it becomes a disease.
Yeah, it makes sense.
That's an analogy.
So right now, the right and left eye feel more or less even.
Okay. Then that's when you make improve. Then you can improve it. It's even, but then you still have a spiritual experience that's been traumatized. Okay? And that trauma is really a spiritual trauma. Okay?
Yeah.
So as soon as you have a spiritual trauma, you bring up all your spiritual traumas. So the spiritual trauma is like, let's say you were tortured.
Okay.
before you get nailed to the cross. That bother you?
I experienced torture in this lifetime, yeah.
Well, the torture in this lifetime is a reflection of torturing in your spiritual life.
Okay.
Other time. Okay?
Sure.
Right? So you think about your torture in this life, it bothers you, right?
Well,
I forgot about it.
I learned how to not be bothered by it.
You suppress it, you go into denial, and you practice Alzheimer's, right?
Well,
and you turn yourself off, right?
You turn yourself off, or
yeah, but then you're not yourself.
Right.
Let's say you don't turn yourself off. Let's say you don't suppress it. Let's say you don't go denial. Does it bother you to be tortured?
At the moment, yeah.
Huh?
At the moment when you're being tortured, yes.
But if you think about that moment, it still affects you, right?
Not in the future.
I didn't say the future. I'm thinking about it. When you're thinking about it, it affects you, right? Let's say you think about your experience being tortured. It should really come from the past.
No, it doesn't.
How come it weakens you so much then? Then you're in denial. That's why you don't. That's why you don't resolve it. You deny that it bothers you. You deny that it bothers you, but it really bothers you.
I don't feel bothered.
Okay, then your perception is off. Give me some strength, okay? Think about being tortured. Okay? Does that feel strong? Like that?
Feels about the same.
Now, let's improve your perception.
Okay.
Think about being tortured. Think about not being tortured. Still the same.
Feeling tortured right now?
Think about your action of being tortured and the action of not being tortured. Still the same? Compared to two, still the same? Yes. Okay. So not tortured, right? Mm-hmm. Pretty strong, right?
Yeah.
Now, let's make your perception better, okay? Think about being tortured again.
Yeah.
Just as strong?
Yeah.
Okay. Being tortured. Being tortured. Then now you put more effort in and just to try. Let's say you use the same method, okay?
Okay.
Yeah. Being tortured or not tortured. Okay. Now you actually, your perception is off. Let's say your whole family got tortured. Is that part of you?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's right there, right? So you have that. It's just like that man over there and said, well, get blown up doesn't bother him, but if it includes family and bothers him, then he could relate to it, okay? Because you yourself think that, well, I'm not going to let that bother me. You don't let it, yes, you will not bother you, but you don't resolve your experience.
Well, you get trained in military to not succumb to torture.
You think military is the solution? Look at all the PTSD they have, right?
No, I'm not saying it's a solution.
I'm just saying that you can't use that. You use that, you think you got away with it. You didn't. Okay.
Okay. So
you could discipline yourself all you want, and nothing bothers you.
Right.
But you're not going to be the same person. Right?
Okay.
You come out hard, right? And rigid. You think, well, I could deal with that.
Right.
I could deal with people with PTSD on the spot. Resolve their PTSD on the spot. Okay. Right.
So resolving the inability to perceive through my left eye can be resolved on the spot.
I'm not saying that, but each step on the way, it has to improve. You still have about 10 steps. I'm not going to do 10 steps here for sure, okay? Right. Because I feel weakness for 10 steps. Right. So, but let's say you go to the extreme. Let's say you're totally blind with that eye. Does that bother you?
Well, I am blind with that eye.
Why? I said, does it bother you?
Not anymore.
Well, because you practice suppression, denial, and forgetting. And that's the reason why you don't improve.
So what would be a more appropriate way?
Is be truthful with yourself.
Right.
That you address each one of them how it bothers you. And you don't have to use suppression. Because as soon as you suppress, you're not yourself anymore. Don't deny, you can't get to the truth. Right? You lie to yourself, your brain is not even working right.
Mm-hmm. So I stop suppressing any discomfort or what you call bother, and I accept fully that I'm being bothered.
No, it's not like that. You have to find a weakness, you have to change it. It takes an extra 2 steps, if not 3, okay? So your problem is that you got tortured, and it bothers you, and you don't give it any recognition. You said you could deal with it. Well, you could deal with anything. But it doesn't mean that it's going to function normally. So you want to function normally, you have to recognize your experiences, your karmas, and your curses, and resolve them. Okay, so perhaps I give you more direct. I'll give you a direct thought or experience. Okay. So how about this? A thought of experiences that you witnessed that you see a bunch of little kids get slaughtered. Would that affect you? You witnessed that?
It would probably be a
say probably. Just put yourself there, and then you know whether you do or not, and you're consciously, subconscious, or non-conscious, you know.
Right, I would feel compassion for them.
It's a lousy word, compassion.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm using a lousy word.
No, I'm saying that if you put compassion there, you already lower the energy for them, okay? And make it hard for them, their experience to be resolved for them. Right? Even though they got tortured, their experience has to be resolved for them. As well, you witnessing it, or your ancestor have done that to them, okay? Let's say you have a whole bunch of ancestors that slaughter a bunch of children. Would that bother you? Have ancestors like that?
Probably.
So if you say probably, then you can't go anywhere. Okay, either you or not. Okay, probably is maybe. Okay, when you maybe,
well,
it's
I'm talking about
like having a laptop and say, okay, maybe I hit this key right now, or maybe I hit the other one. Okay? You got to be precise and exact.
All right. Well, laptop also has a trackpad.
See, now you kind of like contradict what I'm trying to tell you. Okay? Either you're exact, you don't get results if you're not exact. Okay.
Okay.
Right.
So.
And when you say probably, it's like you gave up getting results for yourself. Okay.
Okay.
You think you just increase your chi and that's it, right? You can increase your chi to match all your problems. You could drink and match your problem, right? You could use love to match your problem. Okay, you want to do that, fine. That's your prerogative.
Right, so
but you don't get results all the time, like me. Okay, I get instant results.
So you were okay with the black and white attitude?
It's either
black
either 1 or 0.
Yes
that's
or
a computer. That's a computer lingo. It's 1 and 0 or yin and yang. Okay, the principle of yin and yang, not the theory of yin and yang. Okay.
Okay. So the yin and the yang transmuting into each other. That's kind of philosophy that you don't want to.
No philosophy. There's no philosophy about 1 and 0. Binary code in a computer. There's no philosophy. It's a principle.
Okay. So if
I don't want to live by philosophy. Philosophy doesn't bring you anywhere. You want a principle to get results, then it's fine. But you want to stick with your philosophy, that's fine. It's your prerogative. Right? You asking me how I do my thing is that I don't have philosophy. Get results, and that's it. Okay.
Right. Okay. So you asked the question about whether it would bother me if my ancestors slaughtered a bunch of children.
Yeah.
So.
And you say properly instead of say yes or no.
So.
Is it bother you or does it bother you? That's all it is. Okay.
Right.
But you say, well, you say yes, but then you say property. Property, it bothers you. Okay? Mm-hmm. And that becomes a problem. You don't get to your own truth, then you don't get to the right answer to match your question and your problem to resolve it. And anyone could do that. You know, I'm not preaching you about the truth. Right? I just want you to be able to find what's one thing with another thing, and you know exactly what you add. The 1 and 0. Right? Either you're strong or you're weak with it. Okay?
Okay.
The weakness is what troubles you. Right? But if you got weak and you match your weakness and say, well, I'm not weak. Well, no. So you want to resolve your situation, then you resolve it. That's how things get.
So you accept your weakness.
No, you should be neutral about it. Okay? So what comes up comes up. There's no judgment. That you're weak, okay, something wrong with you. No, it's not something wrong with you. You know exactly where you're at and you can resolve it. There's no such, there would be nothing wrong with you. Okay?
Right, there's no judgment.
Right, no judgment, no criticism.
I get that.
Okay. No negative comparison, right?
Right. Okay. And when people get the results like this,
they'll get
results. Are they permanent? Or do they slide back? Do they revert to?
Because people have a million reasons now. Are you going to be able to resolve a million reasons for them? Or they want to pay you for that? Or they're able to take care of themselves? Right?
Well, ideally they would take care of themselves all the time.
I teach them how to take care of themselves. But now, you can't just take care of yourself just by increasing your chi.
How do you take care of yourself?
Well, I already discussed it now. I don't want to spend another half an hour telling you, okay? It's simple, but it's not that simple, okay? It's short, but it's not that short, okay? I can't just tell you in 5 seconds how to do it. Just like that woman up there, right? Give her one secret, right? No such thing, right? Or give her one step. No, you have to know all the steps, and you know which one matches to that one, okay? You have to know everything.
Right, and how can our listeners find out more about your work?
Well, they could either go Facebook .com/Yuen Mastery or YuenMethod.com. All right, and go to my radio show. They can ask me a question or an answer for them in a matter of seconds. I'm not going to sit there and answer their question for half an hour or more.
Right. Well, how do we find your radio show?
Go to YuenMethod.com. That will tell you how to get the radio show. Okay?
Excellent. Thank you very much.